Hello, and thank you so much for serving on this Sunday, August 18th, 2024. I'm going to give you a walkthrough of what to expect this week. This week's video is going to be a little bit longer than normal, but I'll go as quickly as I can to give you all the information you need. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go, when you arrive around 9:20, you're going to go into the huddle space. So you're going to come around this. As you're going to notice, it's going to say 4th and 5th grade. So keep an eye on that if you are the 4th and 5th grade small group leader for this week, because it is the huddle space as well as the 4th and 5th grade space. So you're going to meet as a team here, pray together, share any important announcements. And then after that is when everyone's going to split to their small groups for their first activity. So we're going to come over here and look at the schedule. So the schedule works like this. We're going to start in our small groups now. So 2nd, 3rd grade has a small group, which is right next door. This is the 4th and 5th grade small group. And the kindergarten and 1st grade small group meets in the large group room. So everyone's going to meet. The way it's going to start is that you're going to just gather, take attendance, and chat until 10 o'clock. Then at 10 o'clock, you're going to start immediately. Even as kids are kind of walking in, you're going to go ahead and start that first activity. The first activity is called the belong activity, and that is about feeling a part of your group, feeling ownership of that group. Then at 10:10, that activity will wrap up, and then you're going to walk towards the large group. So those notes are here. 10:10, the kids need to bring their Bibles. If they forget their Bibles, every one of the small group classrooms has extras. In 4th and 5th grade, you're going to see those extras there. So you're going to bring the Bibles, and you as the small group leader needs to bring the iPad in case if kids are arriving late and they come to large group, you want to be able to check them in as they're arriving. So this is the schedule. Once you get to large group, the schedule in there really only matters for people who are teaching large group to keep them on pace to be finished so that they can get you back to your small group by 10:50. So they're going to start at 10:15. They're going to start right on time at 10:15, and they're going to wrap up at 10:42-ish so that'll give you some minutes to kind of line up and get back to your classroom so that you can finish your small group and do your believe activity, which will take 10 minutes, your become activity, and then you have 2 sets of questions for your small group wrap up, which is some questions as well as prayer, and then discipleship discussion, which should take you to the end of the service. So every small group has a cart, and they are labeled. So if you are in 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th, your cart looks just like this. Kindergarten and 1st grade, yours is only slightly different because you had one less bucket. But so the first bucket has lesson plans and take-home sheets. So if you look in here, this is also the key to get upstairs if you were to ever want to go upstairs. Your lesson plan, your physical copy of your lesson plan is in here. There's always 2 copies if we have 2 teachers that week, as well as the take-home sheet. The take-home sheet does not come out until the very end of class as kids are exiting, but so it's right there to give the kids as they leave. Now, you're going to notice that the belong activity bucket is empty. That's because it doesn't require any materials this week. The believe activity is also empty. The belong activity has some yarn in it. When you look at the lesson plan, it's going to say yarn and scissors, but the pieces are already pre-cut, so you only need the yarn. So that is what is needed, the lesson plan and any materials that are in those buckets. For this part of the school year, 2nd and 3rd grader small group and the 4th and 5th grade small group are going to have the exact same materials. I'm sorry, I apologize. I said that backwards. Kindergarten and 1st grade and 2nd and 3rd grade are going to have the exact same materials, exact same activities. And then as we progress through the school year, then I'm going to flip-flop it, and the 2nd and 3rd graders will have the same ones as 4th and 5th graders. But for right now, if you're teaching kindergarten and 1st grade small group, you are doing the exact same thing as the 2nd and 3rd grade small group. So 4th and 5th, you guys have your special activities here. I'm not going to go through all the activities. I'm just going to show it to you briefly. You can see these online in the version that I have linked on our Google Drive, which you can see through Planning Center, as well as the link that I'm going to email you. But so it has a timing on here written too. So belong is called the never ending story, no supplies needed. And it's right here. Time is also written here, and you can follow the script if that's what you feel comfortable with. And it's really just about feeling like a part of a group. And then when you come back from your large group at 10:45, 10:50 is when you're going to do your believe activity. It's called jump word. And so that is right here. Again, they just need their Bibles. There's no prep for this. So they're going to be jumping more into our memory verse for the month using this. It's a fun, active activity to do after they've been sitting for that large group. activity that they just came back from. Following that, we jump over this and we go into this at around 10:55, 11 o'clock, and we do the become, which is not prayers. And you can see that here. Again, the timing is written at the top. Following that is small group wrap up, which is right here. And then last but not least, you see the arrow kind of pointing it to the bottom is discipleship discussion. And you can flip that on the back and that is there. That's just digging deeper. It is really good, but it is kind of the last of our priorities to try and hit during the day. So if you don't get to that, we understand. You want to take your time and do these well. And the big thing, especially this month, is about connecting with these kids, having patience with yourself and with them if you don't get to every activity. But we're going to try to see how this works, see how many activities we're able to do in the time that we have. So that is what the 4th and 5th grade room looks like. Now I'm going to show you the 2nd and 3rd grade room. So if you are leaving huddle and you teach the small group for 2nd and 3rd grade, you're going to come back down the hallway and you're going to enter what used to be the back of the whole group room. We have a special visitor. And this is our new 2nd, 3rd grade classroom. So this is where 2nd, 3rd grade small group activities will be happening. There are 2 tables. You will not need them very often. They are here just in case. The Bibles are here for kids who forget their Bibles. The schedule is posted, as well as there's a copy of our memory verse from one of our activities 2 weeks ago, and the note that at 10:10 you should be lining up, bring Bibles and iPad with you to large group. The same thing in here. There's a stapler for the teachers if they were to ever need it. The top shelf has lesson plans and take-home sheets. The first one has Belong, which needs no materials this week. The second one is Believe, which has a grab bag with some animals in there. It is already pre-cut and ready to go for the activity. You're going to want to look at that on the online version that I'm going to email you with the Google Drive. And then the final activity is Become. They are going to need pencils for this. So I'm going to show you where the material bins are. I'm not going to leave material bins out because I don't want kids to have access to it all the time. But over here, and I apologize, you're going to hear a video in the background because my kids are watching a video right now, is back here. It's labeled 2nd, 3rd grade. There are 2 bins. That's enough for the kids that are in here. They're going to need the pencils that are in there. There are scissors in there that are very sharp, so I don't want them out on tables, just so that when people aren't in the classroom, I don't want anyone to have access to them because they could hurt the kids. So you're going to get out those 2 material bins out of the material, the shelving back there, and have the kids get their pencils out to complete that last activity. And now we're going to go into the kindergarten and 1st grade classroom, which is at the end of the hallway on the left. This used to be the 4 and 5-year-old classroom. You'll see the label on the door. This is kindergarten, 1st grade small group, as well as elementary large group. So when you enter in, this group is a little different. When they come in at 10 o'clock, they're not going to sit and chat. They're going to have coloring sheets at their tables. So their material bins are out because they only have the smaller scissors. They can use crayons. They can use markers. Please do tell them to write their name first thing when they do those coloring sheets until 10 o'clock. And then they're going to come and sit on this side of the room. This side of the room has the same thing, has a schedule posted, has a cart. The cart is slightly different because there was one less one. So the top shelf is for lesson plans, take-home sheets, and any Belong activity materials. So lesson plans for kindergarten and 1st grade are here. Take-home sheets are right behind them. The Believe activity is the same with that grab bag with some animal pictures, and the Become activity is the same where they're going to need to use some writing utensils to be able to do that activity. And so that is kind of it for small group. Now, if you're teaching large group, this is where it's going to look very different. This week, large group has an interactive activity. So whoever is teaching large group is going to be up on the stage. They're going to have a microphone. To turn it on, you're just going to come back here and you're going to press that button back here, right there at the bottom, to turn it on, because that'll have you mic'd. It really does help to keep the kids' attention. And then you're going to also have on the TV. On the TV, I'm going to help you this week. you're going to click on this week's slides, and it will have slides and videos. You're going to have to practice just going forward and backward. And so pressing the arrows, pressing the back button, and pressing play is really all you have to do to get back and forth between the different slides as well as the videos. So if you are teaching large group, I'm going to walk you through it right now so that you can kind of see the lesson plan. Also, if you're teaching large group and you have an issue with the media, which that happened last week. Sometimes it lags, and it was lagging by like 10 minutes last week. Just be prepared to think on your feet and just do it without the video. So the memory verse is on the window, as well as the bright idea is here on these boards. So for large group, the first thing you're going to do is the welcome activity. If there are two people teaching large group, what we recommend is that the first person does steps 1 through 3. The second person does step 4. And back to the first person again, they wrap up the last 2. We are skipping step 6 this week for the sake of time because there is an activity during the Bible teaching, which is probably going to make it run over a little bit. And so we cut that one part to try and save some time. All right, so here is what it looks like. For the welcome, you're going to do those scripted parts quickly. You really do want to watch your time. So the entire page should be wrapped up by 10:23. So you're going to start with the welcome. That part should really only take 2 minutes. You're going to show that intro video, which is going to be on the TV, so you should have that queued up and ready to go. If there's only one person teaching, someone that is not teaching could be in charge of the remote and make sure that they queue up that intro video and go over what the questions are that we're doing today. You should be done with that at 10:23 and then jumping into the Find It in the Bible. Now, on this page, the only part that is scripted is this section here. What I recommend that you do is that you draw the kids' attention over here above the bulletin board, God's big story. And you tell them that every week we're going to be looking at a different story in the Bible, and that every week those stories are going to fit somewhere into God's big story. So creation is that everything God created was good. And then came the fall where Adam and Eve sinned, and sin was passed to all people, even you and me. And then came redemption, and maybe get them to, say like, who brought redemption for us, and see if they can name Jesus. Though all of us are sinners, Christ died for us. And then restoration, Jesus will come again. So draw their eyes to that, because this is something that, even though it's not in the script, we want to draw them back to this every week, that they understand that every story fits into God's big story. These aren't supposed to be separate. These all fit together as part of one big story. So you're just going to do that, and then you're going to read this section. In here, it tells them to open their Bibles to look at Genesis 6. For the sake of time this week, what you can do is just the leader can open it and show it in their Bible. So maybe already have your Bible open to Genesis 6. Show them how you found Genesis at the beginning in that table of contents. And so you knew where Genesis began, and then you found the number 6. And that today's story is going to start there, and it's going to actually last for 3 chapters in that book. Chapter 6, 7, 8, and 9. So actually 4 chapters. And so you're going to show them that, and then you're going to move on to the next activity. And the reason why I'm trying to help you think of ways to cut time is because this is going to take a while. You're going to pray for them, and then you're going to teach. And in here, there's going to be different steps. Spread out the parachute, have them form a large circle. We do have the parachute in the water here right now. We do have a rain stick that Amy Chambers is going to bring on Sunday. So that will be here on Sunday. The problem with this parachute is that it is not very big. So what I would do is maybe do this all the way through, maybe with just our acorns, just our kindergartners and first graders. And then if you have time, do it again with our leaves, our second and third graders. And then if you have time, do it again with our trees, our fourth and fifth graders. That would be my recommendation, just because there is not going to be enough room underneath this parachute for all of the kids. You can give them jobs. Maybe one of the older kids can spray them, because they're supposed to be sprayed with the water bottle at one point. And another one can be in charge of the rain stick of making it sound like rain. One person could be in charge of the lights, turning off the lights so they feel like they're in the dark inside the ark. So as you do this, you see the cues for the teaching slide. So they spread out the parachute and make a circle. They come to the middle and lift their arms high so they can show the height of the ark and the width. They show the teaching slide. They're going to crawl into the middle of the parachute. They're going to put the parachute around themselves and show them closing the door and turning off the lights. They're going to flap the parachute around their bodies and walk around the parachute and spray kids. Oh, so one person can walk around the parachute and spray the kids with water, flick the lights on and off to show a storm, use the rain stick, and then turn off the lights and calm the group. So what you can do is just do that 3 times with all 3 groups, getting a chance to do that. And so the Bible teaching continues here. At the end, point to Jesus. Do not skip that part. That is very, very important, to point to Jesus. So after this is done, you're going to go into the Bible review video. So to kind of gather them back together, you're going to show that video. It should be queued up on our app on the TV. We're not doing the questions. So we are skipping all of the questions that follow the review video just for the sake of time, because I know that Bible teaching is going to take a long time to do. And then finally comes your wrap up. Again, if you're short on time, the 2 most important things to do on here are show the memory verse video and pray for them as they exit. So you should be wrapped up no later than 10:43 and line them up by groups to pray them out, and then dismiss our leaves so that they can go to their 2nd and 3rd grade classroom, dismiss our trees so they can go to the 4th and 5th grade classroom. And I believe that that is everything for this week, and our video has gotten very long. So I'm going to stop here. I will be here this Sunday. I'm not teaching this Sunday, but I will come back and help you guys get set up before you start and answer any questions that you might have. If you see this video and read the lesson plan and you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can find my phone number in Planning Center. Call me, text me, or we can talk in person when I see you on Sunday. I'm so excited for you guys to teach this Sunday, and I will see you then. Thank you so much for serving. We'll see you.